Hello, hello.
Hey there, Ross.
Hey, Lucas. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Staying busy. How about you?
Awesome. Yeah, me too. Getting back into it.
Yeah, how was Europe treating you?
It was great. It's really cool to see a
Glad
bunch
to
of
hear
old
that.
old world stuff that I've never seen before. All like these pubs that were built before like America was created.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. We talked about this. This is interesting about the comparison
Yeah,
to the US.
crazy. Hey, Malcolm, welcome. Looks like we're gonna have a couple more people join a little bit later today, but we're gonna have the same kind of overview. Got a bunch of stuff to go over. So I'm glad you guys are here. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, so today we're gonna go over some quick stuff, how to go over pricing your subscriptions, and then you guys are gonna get a good little treat because we also made a white label Chrome extension that we're gonna give out to you guys for free today since you're here. And I'll show you guys how to install that as well because that's pretty cool. Put that in there
Nice.
too. And then of course, as always, if you guys have questions, please feel free to put it in the chat and we'll get to it at the end of today's meeting. But we're going to go ahead and start off and just review some of the latest things that we've updated. We're continuing to work on continuous improvements to the platform, like always, but we're especially focused on updating a lot of the product features themselves. So anything that has to do with actually improving some of more of the core functionality, more customizations, things like that, as well as some of the bug fixes and additional items. So quickly, just going through this, we've got custom function history. If you're not familiar with custom functions, it's how you can create integrations with basically any other platform to be able to have dynamic data come back into the platform. And the example I always like to show with that is the e-commerce example, and or basically any of these examples. There's a bunch of examples on my YouTube available. But essentially, what you can do is have a AI agent connected to some live data, and then that data can be reviewed and seen by the AI agents. That way, that information can be viewed and seen by the user. And this can all happen dynamically at runtime. We also updated some small agency settings. Now you can use OTP verification to change and update your email address if you need to do that. If you guys ever run into any problems, just feel free to reach out to us via a support ticket or Discord, and we're happy to help you get that sorted. Support link customization. This is quickly a new section that we added in the agency settings. And so essentially this will update whatever is shown in the support link. So that way, if people have issues, they can come and talk to you directly. Some other chatbot updates. We added a last scraped date in the scraper. So that way you know when the 24-hour scraper is enabled or not. You can see that quite easily now. We've also upgraded and added some more additional functionality to the voice model. Those of us that have been testing out the 11 labs appreciate your input. It's definitely helping us improve it and increase the or decrease the latency. So that's nice. Thank you. And we also added a fallback that is the free model version of voice. So if you guys have that enabled, that will work kind of regardless whether or not your 11 labs is enabled or not. And then finally, we have sort of a larger one that a lot of people have been asking for is the ability to disable billing for sub accounts entirely. And so that's going to be the last item we talk about quickly. So if we go into any of these sub accounts, we can see now that there's going to be an option to enable here called directly billed to AI agency. And when enabled, all the billing, wallet, and storage settings from the sub accounts is going to be disabled. So they're not going, all your clients and users on that level will not be able to see any wallet balance or anything like that. Now, your agency and your agency wallet will still get charged just like normal, just like you would. But if your clients were to log in and check this out, then they wouldn't see this. Now, the advantage of doing this is, let's say you're bundling these AI agents with a larger offer that you might be selling, or if you just don't want people or your clients to have access to this, this can be something that you enable for their sub account. And then that way they just are able to use the platform and not really have to worry about any of the extra billing cycles and all that. And that's one of the things, and just like always in our building block method, this is one of the reasons why we're going to be adding more endpoints to our API soon. and that will allow you to do other things like what we have in there now, which is messaging the AI agent, creating an AI agent and a sub account, things like that. We'll be able to add users, all the other different action items that you might need to be able to go fully third party with basically any billing system. We also have our Instagram integration being reviewed by Facebook right now. So once that is reviewed and complete, that will be out soon, which is exciting. And the Meta Holy Trinity will be complete finally. So that'll be out soon. And that's most of the updates for this week. You guys can always go to roadmap.stammer.ai to read and review all of our changes and updates as we post them. And that being said, quick mention, our documentation is at docs.stammer.ai. So if you guys ever have any questions or whatever it may be, especially the internal support bot that we've created, it's trained on all of this data from this documentation website. So this is the source of truth for all of our tutorials, and everything that we create is going to be posted here. So this is definitely something good to bookmark or just keep in mind. This is where we're putting everything basically. Now inside this, there's two things or two specific things I want to shout out. Due to, and this is just from talking with a bunch of customers, hearing how people are building and creating these AI agents and specifically working on the prompts themselves. Now, there is a section in here called writing a base system prompt, and this takes the prompt and kind of explains it in the different sections that you are able to add that these AI agents can easily understand. And a lot of you that have done prompting before will find these very, very familiar. This is all of this is directly from OpenAI's own documentation. Claude has a very and Anthropic have a very similar version to this, but it's basically just breaking down what you want the AI to do and how you want it to talk with users. And so there's a lot of examples and templates in here. A lot of you might have already seen this, but I just wanted to shout it out again because this is a lot of really good information, and you can also copy and paste this and put this into ChatGPT and have it, help me write a prompt for whatever business it might be. So just wanted to shout that out. So that's a good resource to keep in mind. And then the second one is a one that we recently added. I filmed the whole video about how to price your AI chatbots. And this is one of the most common questions that we get. And I'll give you the quick 30-second kind of review, but this is a full 15-ish minute video where I go through the details of the three major sections of how you're going to want to price and create your offer for an AI SaaS. And it's the pricing and the different variables that are related to pricing. Think like what the actual price is, if you're going to do monthly, quarterly, yearly, all those things, the features that you're going to include, and the type of support that you're going to provide to your clients. Those three major sections combined together, depending on which levers you want to flip on and off, will allow you to create your own versions of these sales tiers, basic, pro, and premium, that you can offer or not offer to your clients based on whatever you want to do. So these are just examples. This video goes into detail about why each of these different things might be different based off of what you want to do as your agency. Like, do you want to be able to offer credit card trials or not? And I'll give you the answer. You definitely want to do that. So definitely look into that. This is a really good video. Drew and I spent a good amount of time working on this, and the Notion is available for free in there as well. So I can I'll put this link in the chat as well. That's another good one. Cool. And for everyone that recently joined us, well, I've been just kind of blabbering on here. If you have any questions, please feel free to just put it in the chat, and we'll get to it in a minute. The last thing I wanted to mention is something that you guys all have access to if you're white labeling Stammer right now. And that is the white label API. And so if you haven't played around with this, or maybe if you're a GHL agency, you've made a couple automations that will allow you to use the use your white label API to create a chatbot within GHL, for example, that you have access to all of these templates and everything that allows you to create anything that you kind of want. And instead of being so abstract about it, I created a Chrome extension. And this Chrome extension is fully white labelable, and it was created using a Replit AI agent. And this is similar to things that you might have seen, like with Cursor AI, or even with Claude's new artifacts model, being able to create and write code and generate different files. The cool thing about this is everybody's going to get this zip file, and I'll show you exactly how this all works basically quickly. But this is kind of cool because basically what I did is I just copied the documentation that is specific to my white label version of Stammer. So this will work with anybody's version of it, basically. And essentially, I was just like, hey, make me a Chrome extension that allows me to chat with any chatbot on any tab. And so I was able to create that, and I downloaded it as a zip file. And then I can go into the Chrome extensions tab, and I can open this file. And now I have this Chrome extension here where if I go into my little tab up here at the top, up here, and I click on right click and I click options, I can see that there's a couple different fields. And so this is what I would paste in from my version, my white label version. I can copy the URL and I replace the URL. So it says my version of it. And then I just need to paste in my API key and chatbot UUID. So this is my API key, copy, paste, and then go to a chatbot and get the UUID here and paste and save. Now, if I go to any page basically, and I click this and I say, how much does Stammer cost? Gotta love live demos. And there's the answer. And so if I go now into this conversations tab here on this bot, I can see there's a conversation from the API that says the message that we just sent. So now this is a way for you guys to sell this as an existing or an upsell, whatever it may be. But essentially all you have to do is exactly what I just showed you. Add it, change the couple variables, and then you can connect it to basically any AI agent that you want, and you've got a version of it in your Chrome tabs there. So cool little thing, and I'll put that in the chat here. So all you have to do is just download that, unzip it, and then select it like I showed you, and you'll be good to go. What'd you think of that, Tim?
I'm just happy it worked perfectly. Those
Yeah,
live
me too.
demos make me know. It's worried we get an error or something.
Course, always. Yeah. But so the cool thing is that like you can kind of take that model or that concept and kind of do anything. You could create, I mean, and you were working on one for Discord too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
guys let me know in the Discord if you're interested in seeing that. But it was pretty simple. I used I've been using Cursor a lot. I don't know if you guys are technical, but Cursor's been blowing up as far as its exposure lately. And I didn't use Cursor. I just used regular Claude and just told it, hey, help me, create a Discord bot that I can use with my
Hmm.
SaaS platform or something. And it was great. Now keep in mind, there are probably concepts that Ross and I understand and know that other people may not. But if you ever have any general questions, especially programming related questions, usually with my experience, I can point you in the right direction. So feel free to ask in the Discord. But yeah, it was easy, Ross. It was great. It's up and running. I need to just move it into the main chat so people can actually start using it.
Right on. Very
And we
cool.
use REPL.it, .com, which is amazing. It
Yeah.
used to be REPL.it, which is
Yeah.
why I always say that.
OG way of saying it. Cool. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, you can speak up, start talking, or put it in the chat that you have a question. Um, we can go over some general stuff. There is a quick GHL update that I'll mention while if anybody thinks of their question, I'll bring that up.
Yeah, just quickly, Ross.
Yeah,
The Replit does require any base subscription.
it you can make these replets for free, but they're publicly viewable.
Yep, yep.
If you want to make them private, then I think that's when they prompt you to upgrade.
And I
Right.
think if you want to deploy it, I don't believe you can deploy it without upgrading, but I could be wrong.
Yes, and deploying is going to be something that you would need to run with custom functions. For something like this, a Chrome extension that you're just downloading the files, you should be able to just download the files and do it as needed. That being said, I believe their AI piece is part of their paid subscription.
Yeah. How is that AI agent, Ross? Behind the scenes, did they say what that's using?
It allows you to select Claude
Oh,
or 4.0 or whatever.
wow.
It did fail a couple times where it was like, oh, contact support. But it was like doing, it had already done, the 98% of the work. It was just it was like, oh, I want to move this button out of the thing. And
Mm.
that's when it seems to, when it caused some breakage points. But other than that, it was working pretty flawlessly, which is cool to see. All right. So yeah, if any, like I said, oh yeah, Malcolm says, my first thought with the Chrome extension was that you could use it as a sidekick for quickly cross-referencing documentation on a site. What was your other use case for an upsell? So the reason why I built it is I wanted to help our own support team answer questions faster within the format of Freshdesk support tickets. And so instead of having them copy and paste and go to another tab or another website, and then paste that in and then get the answer and then bring it back, where I'm cutting out those like 4 clicks, which make that process almost impossible or unusable for the actual person doing it because it's just so many extra steps. Yeah, you could have it on another, but it's just like one of those things. Like, let's try to optimize this process as much as possible. And so the first version of it is just having it right there on the tab. Next version, I was thinking, is it knows where that fresh desk ticket text is and puts a little like button thing right there so that you could just click it and then the response pulls down from the top or something like that. Like that's where that like the ideas kind of just stem from all of that and using these AI platforms to write the code to do whatever it is that you're thinking is like where the kind of the unlock is for this. Now that you have the different puzzle pieces, you can use these platforms to actually do something with it and then use Stammer to make money from it because you have a easy way to monetize it. Yeah. So Malcolm says that's so smart. Lawyers being able to reference similar cases. Yeah, that could be another one. Um, Taking the custom functions example that we were talking about earlier, that is a very good use case to providing a lot of documentation or a lot of extra information outside of the core knowledge base. So if you have millions of characters worth of data or so much textbooks of documentation, writing a custom function that will be able to churn through that data wherever it is already stored, well, not only save you a lot of money, but it can also potentially allow you to do more things. It could summarize more information theoretically. So yeah, a lot or in different ways. There's a lot of different things that you could do with that. All right. So then the other thing I wanted to quickly mention is the scheduling tab. So, and this is specific for GHL because GHL updated some things on their end. So I would just double check your integrations and automations because it seems like they've added a new thing recently, or not recently, but after we released our scheduling tutorials and things. So the flow of this bot from the user's point of view will collect their phone number via the leads tab. It's then going to ask them to schedule a meeting. If they schedule the meeting, it's going to ask for their email address. And if they select a time that is from the available list, all that information will be able to be sent via webhook to GHL. And that will contain the email, the time of the meeting, their phone number. Those are the main ones. So inside GHL, we have a inbound webhook, and because the data is formatted in such a way, we're able to then take those fields and dynamically add them to the contact fields inside a GHL account. Now, the scenario here that I want to mention is this field called appointment time. Appointment time is a custom field that has to be created manually. And that's going to be done via the custom fields tab inside GHL here. Going to click add fields. And then you can either use a multi-line or you can use a date picker. The date picker is the one that I used for this specific example. And so what that allows you to do is then use this action step called event start time, which allows you to set whatever we just added as the appointment time here to be the event start time. So now GHL is able to use the wait steps, which can say, wait an hour before the meeting and then send an email notification saying, or whatever it may be, 24 hours, whatever it may be. Without this set event start time step, then GHL doesn't know when the event time actually starts. So that's an important step to make note of. And when all of this works, you'll be able to collect all the data, update opportunities automatically, send automated follow-ups, everything like normal. And that's all from the scheduling tab. Now, that being said, forewarned, like the way that we built the scheduling base system prompt works in the way that it is written. If you start changing things within this base system prompt for scheduling, it might start not to work. So just be careful when you're updating that if you need to at all, which you shouldn't. But just a heads up on that. That was a good amount of information. If there's any other questions, comments, concerns, love to hear it. Oh, we just did a massive, I mean, we just did what, like almost 3K paid out to our affiliates or
Yeah.
so today. So affiliate program is crushing. If you haven't signed up for that, I'd highly recommend it because some people are making thousands of dollars a month already from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So check that out and see what else. Yeah, custom functions are ripping. People are selling those like crazy. A lot of people are using that Shopify video, the tutorial that's on my YouTube channel. So check that one out. But yeah, no one has any other questions. I think we'll call it there for this week.
Just a quick niche question.
Yeah, please.
Do you think there's any way to, or put it differently, when you inspect a website or a web store, more specifically, it's easy when it's Shopify, you just search the code and it says Shopify on 150 different in 150 different sentences, let's say, right? But if it's not Shopify and you don't know which other provider, do you think there is any specific place that the name of those could be? So then we can see if the
Are
custom
you
functions will be possible to build.
got it? So like, do you mean like when you like right click inspect on a Shopify
Yeah,
store,
exactly,
you can
exactly,
see
exactly.
Shopify? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be so. And if you can't visually see it, try copying and pasting a chunk of it into ChatGPT and ask it to see if
Oh yeah, it's obvious. Yeah.
it can tell you. If I had to
True,
guess,
true.
it's gonna be either Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, or like some of these like like Gumroad or Card or Link in
Yeah,
Bio,
yeah, yeah.
like these like small store sites.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Outside
And
of
all of
that, I'm
those.
not really sure. Yeah. Tim, do you have any
Yeah,
other
yeah.
ideas?
No, I don't understand question.
You could also do maybe like a who is. I mean, that's more about the domain itself. They're trying to figure out which store provider a website might be using in order to
Oh,
build a custom function for it. Right click
I see.
inspect.
Yeah, I might have
Yeah.
asked a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how the Shopify, is there a widget or something that Shopify allows you to put on your website?
No, it just is the website.
Oh,
Like you're pointing your DNS to Shopify.
Shopify. I
Yeah.
mean, then you should, I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. We can ask, I would ask Claude or ChatGPT and see what it thinks,
Yeah,
but there
that's
should
that's
be,
that's the best answer. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
there's only so many IP
yeah.
addresses. And there should be something common in the DNS, right? To point it, just like every one of our customers is
Yeah.
pointing to our IP address. There's different ways to do it too. So, but yeah, ask it. It'll probably give you a good answer.
Yeah, this is obvious. I spend too much time doing something else. Yeah, yeah.
All
I get
good.
it.
All good. It's crazy how that just becomes the default answer now.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, it's crazy to see how good it is at coding and cursor.
Malcolm says, I think the advancement of all this is great. It's one thing to have a functioning platform, it's another to be able to continually update and provide support and communication. Thanks for all the work. Appreciate kind words. That's
Yeah.
definitely one of the things that we're focused on is our support.
Yeah, 100%. I just had a call this morning with I was going to say legacy, someone who's been with us from the beginning, almost the beginning, basically. And he definitely highlighted that fact that support is why he's going with us. So that's good to know. So thank you all for that feedback.
And if you haven't already, leaving that as a review on a reviews page, which I just linked in the chat, that would be really, really helpful. But no pressure on that. Appreciate you. Cool. Well, yeah. So for everyone, thanks for everyone for watching on YouTube as well. I know that these are getting some traction on there, which is great to see. So we'll be uploading this shortly, and then we'll be active in the Discord throughout the week. Any update on the Thursday calls? Yeah. Those kind of got pushed around. It's definitely not off the table. We don't have one scheduled for this week, but the fact that you're bringing it up makes me, I'll push it up my list and we'll get those going again. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice day.
Take care. See ya.
Ross, Tim, bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.